Hello and welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I am here today with your winter solstice and Capricorn season reading for the collective. Now, don't worry. I know that the solstice was yesterday, but I did do the reading yesterday with the magic and the energy of the solstice. However, I was doing witch shit in real life with my coven, and so I did not have time to get on live and deliver the reading. But the cards were all shuffled and prayed over and drawn yesterday. I did all my notes yesterday, and I am coming to you with the reading today. So this is a really beautiful reading. If you are new to these seasonal readings, we do them on the first day of a new astrological season, and I always ask the same 6 questions in the same order. So if you're watching and you see me looking in multiple places, it's because I'm live in multiple places and I have notes so that I don't go off on too many tangents. I'm still going to go off on some, but we're going to try. This is a really beautiful reading, and it feels so appropriate to me for where we are astrologically and numerologically, for the cycle that we are ending and the new one that we are beginning. And the overall message and mantra of this reading is don't rush. Don't rush change. I think all of us find change very uncomfortable. We don't really like not knowing what's going to happen or how everything is going to work out. And the transitional time of letting some things end and rot and decompose so that they can fertilize the soil so that new things can grow. We don't like that time. We want to get straight to the new thing being established. We want to snap our fingers and have arrived fully formed in the next phase. And that's not really how it works. And right now, we're not even in the messy middle. We're in the letting go. We're in the dying. And we know that new is coming, but we're not there yet. And for a lot of us, that's very anxiety producing, especially those of us who feel like all of our worth and our value comes from performing and from achieving and from doing. The period where we need to be through transition, we don't have a lot to point to as an accomplishment yet in the new phase, and we don't like that. It makes us very uneasy. So this whole reading really speaks to this sensation of the endings that are upon us right now. So the first card is always what's going on right now, and the card that we got is trust yourself. Now, I wish I could say that that means that we're all trusting ourselves perfectly, but if we're getting this card as advice, then it actually means we're not, right? So you're experiencing some doubt. If you are here listening to this, I already know it means you are a tapped in person and you are feeling the current energetic season, which is that we are ending a 9-year. We're ending a 9-year cycle, the year of the snake. We are shedding and heading into a 1 year, the year of the horse. If we are tapped in, which everyone I know is reporting that they are feeling this, we are feeling an acceleration of collapse. All the things that can't come with us into the next 9-year cycle are being shed, one after the other. It might be a lot of endings and it might feel really heavy for us to be going through all these endings at once. We are feeling major change. We're feeling that we're on the verge of, if not a level up, then at least a major shakeup. We can all feel like life is not going to be the same next year and beyond. We are headed into massive change. This isn't just about the end of 2025, the beginning of 2026. This is the beginning of the next 9-year cycle. So what we plant now, what we bring into next year is setting the tone for the next decade of our life. Everyone I know is feeling this major change season. Relationships ending. I'm closing a program that I've been running for 8 years that's been a cornerstone of my business. I know people who are closing businesses, who are starting new offers, who are pivoting, who are changing directions, who are coming out of really long seasons of heaviness. And they're like, wait, I feel ready now for next year to be the year. So if you're feeling any or all of that, you're tapped into what's going on. You are right on track. The end of a 9 year, the year of the snake, the major shed. That's right. So we can feel that it's happening. And we might be losing a lot right now. Layoffs. I know people have gotten laid off from jobs they've had for years. We can just feel that where we're headed next is kind of wide open, and we're not really entirely sure what the next phase is going to look like. And that can be really scary and hard to go through, especially when we don't feel really confident about what's going to happen next, right? Ending things when we know exactly what's happening next doesn't feel as bad because we can picture where we're headed. But it doesn't feel that great when we're like, well, this is ending and I have no idea where I'm headed next. And I don't really feel ready to give up all the old things. We might not feel ready to give up the old ways of being, the old relationships, the old way we've been doing things. We might know we need to, but we might not feel ready to. We might feel grief around it. It might hurt. Endings can be really hard and sad. Even when you know they are the right thing, it can still be hard and sad to go through. There can still be part of us that's like, oh, I don't want to give up the old way. I was so comfortable there. Even if I wasn't happy, I was comfortable. So this oracle is just reassurance that you know how to grow. You know how to grow even when you don't know how you know. We are literally designed to grow. When things are growing, there's a long time when they are below the earth's surface, right? When a seed is growing, there's a lot happening that you haven't seen yet. Things have to grow down before they grow up. So if there are things growing that haven't pushed all the way through the surface yet and become something we can see, that doesn't mean nothing's happening. The same is true for us. Sometimes there are things happening that are internal and deep and subtle, but we are so anxious to get to the point where we can see it and experience it, and really so that we can show it to other people and say, look, see, I know what I'm doing. I'm a grown up and I've got this all on lock and everything's okay and you don't have to worry about me and I'm still accomplishing things and I'm still impressive. You're being asked to trust yourself and remember that you know how to grow. Do not overthink stuff right now. It's not going to help you. Don't worry so much. You're doing a good job at being alive. When you trust yourself, you can relax. And when you're relaxed, you can heed your own wisdom and insight and messages so much more clearly and easily. When we're not trusting, we're in anxiety. And when we're in anxiety, the mind gets really busy and it starts spitting out a bunch of other people's thoughts. You maybe start asking, what should I do? And you're asking the wrong people. And then your parents' voices are coming in and your teachers and society. And like, I don't know what I should do. I don't know what I should do. All that buzzy head energy, that's not the energy of I trust myself. Tap into that for a second. Just drop into your heart, your gut, anchor your root, put your feet on the floor. Imagine portals opening up in the arches of your feet and dropping roots 300 feet down, anchoring you into the center of the earth. You know how to grow. You can trust yourself to grow. Your toenails and fingernails are growing right now, and you ain't got to think about it. Your hair is growing right now, and you don't have to be anxious about it. You are designed to grow. You know how to do it. So worrying is not going to help you do it better or faster. It's actually going to make it harder. And that's a message that just keeps coming up this whole reading. This mental busyness, I think it makes us feel productive. And productivity for a lot of us, again, is what we're valuing ourselves on. So clinging to mental busyness as the idea that it means you're being quote unquote productive, like that's not actually the move right now. The quiet, the trust, the anchoring, the stillness, the dropping in. We're in winter in the Northern Hemisphere. Relaxing and heeding your own wisdom and insight can only come when we're dropped into trust. This oracle also confirms that you have a big destiny in this life. You have a lot to experience. And so again, with all these endings, it's uncomfortable. And so you may be making the mistake of thinking that because something is unpleasant, that it's negative or it's a mistake. And it's not. You are meant to move forward. So even though it's unpleasant that things have to end or uncomfortable that things have to end, there's grief, there's sadness, just because it's sad that relationships have to end, behaviors, cycles have to end, that doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's a mistake, and it doesn't mean it's a negative thing. Just because it's uncomfortable or unpleasant, don't shame yourself for it. Don't worry that because it's uncomfortable, it's wrong. Just let it die. Let it be the fertilizer for the next phase of your growth. This oracle also says, do not resist any points of instability in your life, even if this applies to your most treasured relationships, projects, creations. That instability is a growing pain so that more love and more light can come into your life. Instability is a sign of growth. So if things need to fall apart right now, you need to let them. That's where we all are collectively, and I feel it big time. So, what's the block right now? This is very interesting. It's new birth guarded vigilantly. What I'm feeling here is that the block is that there's part of you that is telling yourself that this new thing you're reaching for, this new way of being, this new level in your life, this new that you're craving, you're kind of telling yourself it's not that important, that maybe it's okay if it doesn't happen, that it's not that big a deal. And I think it's because of the pain of letting go. You're like, maybe I don't need to do that. It is a big deal. It is really important. In every creative process, in every new life cycle, there's this very vulnerable time at the beginning where this thing is not yet steady on its legs. It's really interesting because my best friend just had a baby. She's 2 weeks old. I spent the day with her yesterday, and we are so helpless when we're new, right? Like every single thing she needs help with. New birth guarded vigilantly, constant watching of like the breathing and the eating and the head and the everything. It's like so tender. That's what new is like. It's so tender. In a very short period of time, this little girl is going to be running all over the place. She's going to be climbing things. She's going to be driving cars. But right now, she can't even hold her own head up. All new life is like this. Even the new life that we are birthing through our choices right now, they are delicate. New things need nurturing, protection, support. They need to be allowed to take wobbly first attempts before they become mature and stable. So within you right now, there's fresh new life emerging. It might not even be all the way there yet, right? Like you're still in the mess of the old things letting go and the old things dying. You can kind of see the new direction starting to emerge. It needs your attention and your care. So it may be a new relationship that needs tending, a new idea that you really need to nurture into fullness and spend time working on, a new product, a new behavior, a new way of looking at yourself, new self-care habits, a new way of being in the world. Whatever this new phase, or probably multiple new phases, are for you, you really need to tend to them until they become natural for you to embody. There will be a time that they just are like second nature, but right now they take effort and focus and energy. So the block might be that you're giving too much time, energy, and focus to other people, to distractions, to the old habits. If it's relationships that are ending, you might like keep talking to the person, keep hanging out with them, keep going back and forth, staying in kind of wishy-washy energy, being like, maybe I don't need to like take the break so cleanly. You're not taking seriously how much of your focus and attention and care and tenderness your new life needs from you in order to be brought into form. in order to become something that you can see and count on. So you can't be going back and forth with your boundaries. You cannot be careless. You cannot continue to slip into the old patterns. If you're so the doubt, like the block is like you're doubting that the new life is going to happen. You're doubting that the thing is going to grow. So then you're not tending it. So then it's not growing and it's becoming a little loop. And that's your block right now. The growth that you are nurturing right now, the new life that you are about to create, that you're on the verge of, all of these level ups and shakeups that you're on the verge of, they are of great importance to your life path. You must pay appropriate respect to what's happening right now. You cannot be careless with this time or think that it doesn't matter what you do. It is not business as usual. It matters greatly. Being careless now, you risk killing this thing off before it has the chance to grow strong enough to stand on its own. Now, if this is a business thing, if it's a product, if it's some art that you're making, if it's a thing you're creating, there's a period where it is just for you before it's for the world, where you need to figure out what it is and get it really developed before it's going to be strong enough to withstand visibility, to withstand criticism or jealousy or even sabotage, right? Those things can happen once we release something into the world, but we don't want to release it into the world until it is big enough and strong enough and bolstered by the love you gave it at the beginning to be able to handle that. You need to put that time in the beginning. You need to stay tapped in to its potential power, to stay centered in your heart and your wisdom, and to keep nurturing this stuff until it's strong enough to go out into the world on its own. You won't always have to be so precious about it, but for right now, where you're at right now, your vigilance and your care is what is required for the new life to be birthed. You won't need to like hug this new phase, new identity, new ideas to yourself as though they are a tiny baby forever. But right now, tiny baby, strapped to your body at all times, constant checking. In time, it will be ready to go out into the world, and the world will receive this new idea, this new work, this new you, and they will love it. But right now, it is yours to hold. It is for you to love, for you to observe, for you to nurture. You need to get to know it first. It is also very important that you only allow trustworthy people to support you in this time. It can only be people who can handle the frequency and the vibration of what you're trying to grow. You cannot have any old body around you right now. There may be people who love you but are afraid of where you're headed. Maybe they have their own scarcity. They might be worried that if you get too successful, they're going to lose you. They might be judgmental of your choices. They might not get where you're headed. You cannot be around those people right now. So the block may be that you're spending too much time around people who don't get where you're trying to go in your life, and that's holding you back. And you're like, well, maybe it's not that important. It is that important. You have to cut them off, at least for now. You have to be very discerning about who you invite into your inner sanctum as you are doing this growing and changing. Again, this death cycle, this birth, death, rebirth cycle in the death zone. So tender, so hard, so delicate, so much purging and letting things go and shedding and not entirely sure where we're going yet. That is not a time to have people around who make you feel bad about yourself, who make you doubt yourself, who make you doubt where you're headed. Only be around people right now who can speak life into where you're headed. You need to be very discerning about who you're keeping close confidence with. There may be people you need to let go of, just like that first card said. Do not be afraid of those points of instability. If you can tell you're dreading talking to people, you don't want to tell them what you're working on, you're worried about what you're going to say or what they're going to say about where you're headed, you got to notice that and cut those people off right now. There may be relationships that cannot come with you into your next phase of growth. They cannot come into next year. You got to cut it now. It is that important. The next 10 years of your life depends on it. If you already know, and you do, as I'm listening to this, you're picturing the people that that can't come. You already know. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Every time you go back into that old relationship, you're going back into your old identity. You're cutting down the growth of your next phase. You're not guarding that new growth. This oracle also has guidance for you around keeping your actual sanctuary space pure. So this can be your room, your home, your body, the place where you meditate. Sometimes when things are cluttered in our environment, it's an extension of what's going on inside us. It contributes to some mental and emotional chaos. This is a really good time to do a purge and a refresh of your space and your body. I know we're in the holiday season and it's like party season, and like it's really tempting to eat nothing but like cheese and holiday cookies and sparkling cider and alcohol between now and January 1st. But this is a really good time for you to be on maybe like really nurturing root vegetables, really grounding homey soups, stuff that's like not just comfort food for your mouth, but really nurturing for your body that makes you feel really good, really healthy. Again, it's growth time, and growth requires nutrients. So make sure that you are giving your body fresh water, good tea, good like stews. Again, yesterday I went and spent the day with my bestie who had a baby, and all the witches came and we cooked all day. We made so much food, and we were making soups and juices and broths and iron rich stuff for her body, right? For her body, for the baby's body. We need to make sure that she's getting what she needs to nurture new life. Your nutrition right now is part of this process. So if you're eating stuff that doesn't make your body feel good, that makes your skin break out, it might be tasty, but like ultimately not the most nourishing for you, not the move right now. You're doing too much big emotional inner work. Eat good right now. Take care of your home. Be very, very picky about who you spend time with. Trust that the big inner work that you're doing is maybe more exhausting than you give it credit for. If you're like really tired because you're processing a lot, journaling, listening to positive music, listening to solfeggio tones, listening to binaural beats, meditating, eating good, taking care of yourself, new birth, guarded vigilantly, you taking care of you during this time is laying the groundwork for the next 9 years. It's no joke. It is that crucial. The gift that comes as a result of you taking this seriously is the Fool, the sacred Fool, which is so beautiful. On the other end of you being in this internal guarding, nurturing period, you're going to feel so inspired and so alive and passionate for what you can offer the world. And you're no longer going to be worried about trying to impress people, trying to be socially acceptable, worried about what other people think, worried about what other people think about what you're doing. You'll be able to just be. I'm really getting the feeling that spring is like when we hit the astrological new year, that's when this is kicking into place. You're being called to winter in a big way, right? And winter doesn't even really start here until like after Christmas, right? January, February, you might be doing big inner work. You might be doing a lot of grieving. You might be doing a lot of tender nurturing of your new ventures, your new ideas. Come spring, you're going to be on fire with life. The Fool is completely willing to leave behind what has been because it no longer feels right to stay attached to it. And that is because the Fool trusts life completely. It would never occur to the Fool to try to outsmart life or to try to resist life. And I think this is really important because we think we're real smart, my smarty pants is, and I am not immune to this. Like we think we're really smart. with all of our worrying and all of our trying to manage and all of our trying to figure stuff out, that's us thinking we're smarter than life. That's us thinking we can outsmart life. That's us thinking we can resist life's flow, that we can make plans, right? What's that saying? How do you make God laugh? Tell her your plans. The fool knows they're a fool. The fool's like, why would I be smarter than life? I don't know what's going to happen. The beauty of that, the innocence of that, the truth of that. Yes, I can put my effort toward the things that light me up, but I don't know how it's all going to turn out. What fun. What an adventure. What a delight. All of the other anxiety and busyness is us trying to impress everybody and follow rules and show everybody how good we are and point to our achievements, right? It's all just like we're like little kids in suits. Nah. The fool says, I don't know what's going to happen, so why would I try? The fool recognizes that the mind is mostly just a monkey puppet on strings and is constantly spitting out fear and old scripts and society voices and what our parents said. And it is so much more fun to live from the heart, where you can actually live from the radical spontaneity of life. So your inner sacred fool says, let the mind chill out, and instead we focus on our heart. Again, this theme of we're trying to figure it all out in our mind, that's our anxiety. When we're dropped into our heart space and saying, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm following what feels right, then we get to play. We cannot give into any fear or doubt or pay attention to what other people are going to think. We cannot give too much credit to the old scripts in our head, our old internal negative voices, our old stories, our limiting beliefs. When you step into the time of the fool, you feel safe to play. Excuse me. You feel safe to let life happen in a completely new, unscripted way. And this feels so apt as the card that's the gift. The gift is like, okay, I'm going to go inward. I'm going to let go of these things because it feels like it's time to let go of them. And I don't know what's going to happen. And I am trusting and nurturing that new things are coming. And I don't really know what they're going to be yet. I don't know what the new is going to look like, but I trust life. I trust that I know how to grow. I trust that it's all going to work out for me. So rather than trying to control everything and figure everything out before I allow myself to make any moves and worry my way through the process, why don't I just dance and play my way through the change and let life happen through me? Because here's the thing, the change is going to happen either way, and it's going to work out the way it's going to work out either way. The only difference is, are you going to have fun along the way, or are you going to stress the whole way there? What kind of road trip partner are you? Are you in the car being anxious the whole way and stressing everybody out and being like, maybe we missed our turn, we shouldn't have gone that way, we should go this way? Are we late and you're like, oh my God, you're ruining it? Like, put the music on, stick your hand out the window and like do the wavy window thing and just have a good time. We're on the way. We're going to get there either way. And we're going to get there when we get there. So are you going to stress everybody out in the car? Are you going to have fun? Get some snacks, turn the tunes on, let the journey be fun. You don't need to stress the whole time. You're actually not making anything happen any differently. You're just making your own time miserable on the way. When you step into the fool, you break with your own self-imposed conventions because of how you think everything has to go, who you think you are. You get to move beyond those things because you know that a bigger life adventure is available to you than what you can even imagine right now. So you might as well have fun. Life wants to operate more radically through you so that you can become the conduit through which miracles and crazy wild synchronicities can occur. And that's going to be really important for the next card. Crazy wild synchronicities can only happen when you're out there having fun, when you're more trusting, when you're in the sacred fool space. You are electric. You're plugged in to the apparent randomness of life. And I say apparent randomness because there is an order. We just don't always understand what it is. You're going with it without trying to understand it or control it. You're having fun. Like, really think of how ludicrous it is that we're out here trying to control the universe. We are not that powerful. That illusion of control, that mental busyness, it's a way that we soothe our anxiety. But when you think about who's magnetic, when you think about what's sexy, when you're attracted to what you're attracted to in people, it is leaned backness in the body. It is groundedness in the body. It is relaxation in the body. It's like, wow, that person is not tripping. They're so confident. They're so relaxed. They're so chill. I want to be around that. I want a little bit of that. This is the highest spiritual order. Like, this sounds nice, right? This shit is hard. This level of trust and surrender means letting go of all of our mental illusions of control and thinking that we know how everything is going to go. This is hard shit. But this is what's going to come from your period of inward, of new birth guarded vigilantly. This is work on major self-trust and being like, hey, I just let go of the biggest shit ever and I was okay. Whew. Now it's all a party. That's the vibe. Now, this is going to challenge some people around you. Again, there's people who are not going to like where you're headed. I'm really getting the feeling like I know people right now who are leaving corporate jobs to start businesses, who are closing businesses that are really successful, who are closing, myself included, closing offers that bring in thousands of dollars a month and just saying, I don't want to do this anymore. There are going to be people who do not like this because it's going to make them rethink the way they live their lives. If you start like going off on your own and doing your own thing that's really kind of radical and weird, it might make them be like, well, wait, I follow all the rules. I try to control everything. And now you're not, and you're not worried. That should be inspiring to them. But for some people, they may react negatively rather than taking responsibility for what they're experiencing. This happens. The fool does not engage with this shit. The fool is just like, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. I'm going to keep doing my thing and having fun. So if me doing my thing and having fun and following my own life path makes you upset, okay, that's weird. Bye. I'm going to go over here now. You don't get involved. You're going to start making choices that make other people think you're a little crazy. And that's the right way to go. You're not crazy. You're just on your own journey with life. There are going to be people who are no longer able to understand or connect with the decisions you're making. This theme about rushing is going to keep coming up. This pressure we have to get to the next thing. There's somebody listening to this who a lot of your stories and pressure are that by your age, you should have things more figured out by now. You have like a timeline pressure. I've been in business for this long. I should be making this much money by now. I'm this age. I should be married by now. I should have kids by now. I should XYZ by now. Some of your stories are about time and like where you quote unquote should be by this period of your life. That's not real. And I think that it's your family. It may or may not be. They may not be actually saying it. Like they might be. It might be that your parents are like, why aren't you farther along? We can't support you anymore. We can't help you. Why aren't you farther in your career? You got this degree and you're not doing this thing. It might be that. They might not say that shit at all. It might be your fear that they think that and you wanting to impress them and they don't even care. They're like, you're fine. Like you're paying your bills. We don't give a fuck. But there's somebody for whom like this feeling of pressure and rush is because you have a made up timeline in your head about what your life is supposed to look like by now or by a certain age. And that's all made up. You got to let that shit go. You're on your own journey. I always love looking at those things. Like Samuel L. Jackson didn't start acting until he was in his 40s, right? When we look at all these people who didn't start the thing they're famous for until they were in their 40s or their 50s. Like my dad's marriage, right? He's been married for 25 years, but this was not his first marriage. And him and his current wife didn't even meet until they were in their late 40s. I think he was over 50 when they got married. So like sometimes our self-imposed timeline of like when we're supposed to have things figured out by cause us a bunch of stress and pressure. We gotta let that go. The fool is not tripping off that. They're like, yes, I'm on a weird unconventional life path. I'm not doing things according to a script. I'm not doing things according to the societal standard benchmarks of what certain ages mean. All of that shit's made up. Also, I think it's really important for all of us to be reminded all the time that we were raised in a world that taught us about certain life and career benchmarks that literally don't exist anymore. The average person only stays at a job for 2 or 3 years now. Most people don't retire at the age of quote unquote retirement. We're not buying houses at the age that people are supposed to buy houses because the economy that we were raised to believe in does not exist. So sometimes we're like competing with the fact that we had life benchmarks installed in us with the assumption that the world was going to be the same when we were grown-ups, and it's not. Whatever. I know that I got on a tangent, but I really feel strongly that because this theme keeps coming up about your path and your life and the pressure, the time pressure that you feel, the rush that you feel, it really has to do for some of you with where you thought you were supposed to be by now. And you got to let that go. Just accept that your life path is not that. It's not that, and it's not going to be that, and that's got to be okay. And not only does it have to be okay, the more you can be like, not only is it okay, but I'm free from it. Now my life can be anything. Think of the magic of that, the joy, the freedom, the creative juice of that. You got to let that go. You are on your own journey. Eventually, those people who don't get it, they're going to get it when things start working out for you and they see what you're building and they're like, oh, that's really cool. They're not going to get it at the beginning. In the meantime, just let that be. Don't engage with them. Don't talk to them about what you're doing. Do not seek their approval. You know you're not going to get it. Again, only stay around the people who can really speak life into what you're building. And just trust that you are doing exactly what you're meant to do. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're tapping into great inner freedom and creative juice right now. Stay your path. Stay on your journey. Don't take anything too seriously. It's all going to work out. So specifically, how do we deal with other people during this time? Again, about rushing. The card we got for how we deal with others during this time is spirals of manifestation. So remember in the last card when I said wild synchronicities? My favorite thing about this card in the book is it talks about how there's no point of rushing for the bus. So I think that some of the reason you're doubting the new that you're headed toward, where you're trying to go, is because the people you need, the collaborators, the helpers, the supporters, the partners, the audience, the customers, whoever it is you need is not here yet. You haven't met them yet. Whatever it is you think you need, whoever specifically you think you need to make this phase successful, it's just not there yet. And the part of you that's in a rush, like you want this thing to be a full tree that everyone can be gathered around and put a swing in and climb and have a picnic under, but that tree's not even a sprout that's out of the ground yet. This is the doubt cycle. You're like, I can't do the thing I want to do because the people aren't there yet. But the people aren't there yet because you aren't doing the thing you need to do. So you're in a rush and you're wanting to switch the order of operations. So the idea of rushing for the bus is like you get ready, you stress yourself out, you're rushing, you're early to the bus stop. Congratulations. Now you just have to sit there and wait for the bus because life is not all about your timetable. You're operating in concert with everyone's timetable. So rather than rushing because you're so stressed and pushing yourself to get there early and having a miserable time, and then you just have to wait. And then while you're there, you're stressed about the waiting. You're like, maybe I missed it. Maybe the bus isn't coming. Oh no, I messed everything up. And then the bus comes. Again, you just stress yourself out and had a miserable time for what? It is so much more enjoyable to just check what time the bus is coming, take your time getting ready, stroll on over and arrive right as the bus is arriving. And then you're like, whoo, look at that. Perfect timing. Love it when that lines up. The same thing is true with people. Right now, you're in the midst of a spiral of manifestation. Manifestation is not linear. So you're looking down the street for the bus and you don't see the bus coming and you're like, oh my God, the bus isn't coming. It's not coming. What's happening? It's not coming. But it's because the bus is around the corner and it just hasn't turned the corner yet. So right now, You're feeling so far away from what you want. You're actually closer than ever before. This period of shedding and letting go, where it feels like everything is falling apart and you're farther than you've ever been from the life path you think you're supposed to be on, that means you're closer than ever before, because the path is not linear. The thing is not right up in front of you, it's around the corner. So again, this idea, you want to rush. You want it to be a tree and it's not a tree yet. So you don't believe it's going to be a tree. You're in a place of, I need to see it before I will believe it. That's not how life works. It's not how manifestation works. It's not how growth works. You have to believe it first. You have to believe that you know how to grow. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust the endings of things. You have to trust that the new beginnings are going to unfold. You have to take that time to go inward before you've seen anything, and then it will grow. You are being asked not to listen to anyone, including yourself, who tells you that it should have happened already, or that you failed, or that it's too late. Those voices are suffering from a lack of patience, a lack of understanding, and an arrogant assumption that their idea of time is somehow superior to the divine timing of life. And it's not. Back to the fool. The fool doesn't think they're smarter than life. I don't know. I don't know when this is supposed to happen. I just know it's going to happen if I keep working on it. Your job is to trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. To trust that you know how to grow. This oracle is about the perfect synchronicities that take place in your life when you're living from the heart, right? That's when you're in the Fool. When you're honoring your creative center, when you're choosing unlikely but lovingly rebellious ways to be in the world, when you're doing you. When you're following steps 1 and steps 2, you're trusting that you know how to grow. You're leaning into the instabilities, letting go of what you know can't come with you. You're honoring the new growth by being turned inward and nurturing it and taking care of it. You're shutting out distractions. You're cutting off people who cannot support where you're headed. You're keeping your home, your body, your sanctuary pure and nourished. You're really focused on guarding and tending and loving and nurturing this baby new growth. You're just starting to say, hey, I don't know how it's all going to work out, but I know it's going to work out. And then you're starting to come out in the world and tell people a little bit, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. That's when your people show up. You have to be it first. Then you can share it, and then you will attract the helpers, the partners, the customers, the audience, the supporters. You have to be it first, internal. Then you can start to talk about it. That's when you're going to attract the people. So this feeling of, I can't do it because the people aren't here yet. Well, you're not here yet. Your life path is unfolding in harmony with the paths of others. You're just trying to be early. You're trying to rush to the bus. You're going to meet each other, you and the people you need. You're going to meet each other for the greatest benefit at the right time, which is when you are trusting in the flow of the great creative spiral. Everything and everyone is in harmony with everything and everyone else in order to fulfill the great big creative intent of Supreme Life Force. It's not all you. You're part of it, but you're not the boss of it, so you can't rush it. You can't make people show up in order to reassure you that it's safe for you to come out. The people aren't going to show up, knock on your door and be like, hey, come out into your new life. We're going to be here for you. You have to do this deep, scary inner work. Trust that it's all going to work out. Get confident in it. Again, right, like I said in the new birth, guarded vigilantly, confident enough in it that you can withstand a little criticism without crumbling, a little pushback without folding. That's when you're going to be ready and the people will show up. When you're ready to go out and say, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm headed, who's coming with me? The right people will raise their hands. So you need to take your time and get ready. Go out when it's an appropriate time to go out. And you will find that everything lines up the way it's supposed to. The people are out there. The people who are going to be part of this next phase for you, but you can't see them yet. You can't see them yet because you're not ready yet. They're not going to come to you and ask you to join them. You've got to do the inner work and come out so that they meet you and they see you as a person who's ready. If you met them now, you wouldn't be a vibrational match for them anyway. You would probably just completely pass each other on the street because either you wouldn't recognize them as being the person you need, or you're going to come with weird, desperate energy looking for their reassurance. So they're not going to recognize you as a match for their needs. It's just not going to work. You need to do the internal work first so that you can go out and be a match for the people who are going to help you in the next phase. Again, I'm really feeling like this is spring. Like I'm really feeling, let the shit go right now. Grieve in January, plant in February and March, and come spring, come late March, you're ready. Aries season, you ready. Message from your spirit guides right now is dream a beautiful dream. Again, I'm just really getting the feeling that there's some stuff that you're worried about that's about how your life looks to other people and whether or not other people are going to think it's beautiful. This can also be about physical beauty. I think we got this card in the last reading. So for some of you, if what's holding you back is literally like visibility fears about how you look, how people are going to perceive your face, your body, your style when you start doing this work, there's work you need to do around understanding your own beauty. But this is also about what your life looks like, right? I am in my 40s and unmarried and have cats and haven't had a job in like 20 years. Like my life is weird on paper. Being cool with your life looking weird on paper. The beauty that is my life is not quote unquote conventional. You've got to get comfortable with understanding that the beauty that you're meant to be in the world is not quote unquote conventional. So it might be about how you actually look. It might be about the way that you're living your life. But you have some fears that people aren't going to find it socially acceptable. That the beauty of what you are is not a socially acceptable kind of beauty. It doesn't fit into the rigid order. It might be about the thing you make. It might be about your business or your product being like, people are going to think this thing is too weird. It's too different. It's too quirky. This card talks about the diversity of nature, about how nature's beauty is endlessly diverse, endlessly quirky. Nature's beauty is weird. I always think about like bioluminescent fish. There's some weird creatures in nature, and they're all beautiful. But humans have really rigid beauty standards and say only this type of human is beautiful. Only this type of life is beautiful. And that's not true. So there is a part of you that is still really hung up on other people judging you as too weird or not fitting into the standards of what things are supposed to look like. You gotta let that go. I'm hearing that song in my head, the little rows, the ticky-tacky houses, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. There's part of you that's like, oh, I'm supposed to have this cookie cutter life. That's the only thing that people are going to understand and think is beautiful. Gotta let that go. You're judging yourself. You're judging your life path. Beauty, genuine beauty, is not about symmetry. It's not about fitting into really narrow standards. Real beauty is not airbrushed, and it's certainly not fucking AI. So your spirit guides are telling you, get into nature. Literally go spend time in nature. Honor nature. Really tap into the idea of how beautiful nature is in so many ways, right? Rotting trees are beautiful. Falling things are beautiful. There are so many things in nature that are beautiful. You are part of that. You can feel harmony outside of what is supposed to be harmonious. You can be happy outside of the socially acceptable script of what a happy life looks like. If you are brave enough and wild enough, you can even find beauty and harmony in the chaos of change, because change is just the creative process in motion. Your spirit guides want you to realize there's nothing to fear in change, because this is just greater beauty, harmony, surrender, and grace happening through you. Life happening through you is what you came here to experience. The other thing your spirit guides want you to remember is that your desire for beauty is important. You want to live a beautiful life to you. What a beautiful life is to you. You want to experience beauty in as many ways as possible. How you eat, how you dress, how you look, how you behave, how you create, how you relate to your community. You want to live a beautiful life by your definition of beauty. That's not superficial. So if there's any part of you that's thinking that what you for yourself, this weird life that you want, that you're judging, you're saying, I shouldn't want that. It's not important for me to have those things. Spirit is saying, no, they are. They're part of who you are. They're part of how you're meant to be. They're part of who you came here to be. You are meant to create beauty in a far more holistic and creative definition than rigid social standards. It's not meaningless. It's not impractical. It's not superficial. It's not trivial. It is not you being immature. So again, for the person who like, this is about your parents and what they think about your life path, they think you should grow up by now. They think you should have figured this stuff out by now. Like, you really got to do work around, like, my desires for the way I want my life to be are not immature. I'm just different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. This oracle also comes with a message that there is a specific situation in your life right now. I think this is one of the ending points, the points of instability, where you're really feeling uncertain about your ability to fix it or heal it. You lack the inspiration to be able to imagine it different than how it currently is, so you feel like you can't change it. You're not supposed to change it or manage it or fix it. You are supposed to allow yourself to see the beauty that is in the situation exactly the way it is. Literally accepting what is. If it's ending, rather than trying to fix it or heal it or change it, your task is to see the beauty in the ending. Ask yourself, where is the beauty in this situation? If it's a conflict, where is the beauty in this conflict? Especially if it's a really challenging situation. Rather than attempting to force the situation into a different shape, you ask instead that the situation reveal its beauty to you. So this might be your body, a romantic relationship, your finances, your business, a creative project, anything that feels like you're really struggling to see the beauty in it. And again, for some people, this may be a visibility thing. It may be about, I don't want to put myself out there because I'm worried about how people are going to judge my looks. So you're trying to change or fix things about your looks. Spirit is asking you instead to see the beauty in what you look like right now today. That is your spiritual charge. Ask this situation to reveal its beauty to you rather than trying to impose a solution on it. Once you bring in the curiosity, you sit at this thing's feet and you say, please reveal the beauty of this current situation to me. Let me see it. Let me see it with new eyes. You're going to be able to start to see the genius of what is. You're going to start to see that it's how it's supposed to be. It is going to show you how it is actually perfect for you right now, exactly the way it is, and it will open you up to change. Because what we can accept is what we can change the most easily. When we are resisting or denying or trying to impose an outcome on things, that's when we experience suffering, that struggle. When we're like, this thing is what it is, let me see how it's beautiful. That's a lot easier. This oracle wants you to know that you have the power to be a positive influence on any situation in your life that holds the most meaning for you right now. You need to know you're the one with the power, and it's about how you're beholding it, right? That's what beauty is, the eye of the beholder. So this final message for how do we bring all this into form? You follow your own rhythm. You cannot miss what is for you. I know we say that, but hear me. You cannot miss what is for you. This desire you have to rush, this feeling that you're late, that it's not happening fast enough, that you need to get to the bus stop early, all of it is mind chatter because you cannot miss what is for you. You will not gain anything by trying to push yourself to figure it out faster. Trust the life cycles within yourself. Allow yourself to feel the balance between effort and surrender, between discipline and letting go. You know when it's time to rest and when it's time to work. You know when it's time to let things go and when it's time to hold them and nurture them. You know how to grow. There is a season for everything. All your needs are going to be met in harmony with your own rhythms. All that you miss by trusting the timing of life is anxiety. All that you miss by trusting the timing of life is anxiety. That's all you're going to miss. That's all you're giving up. You're just letting go of the anxiety. What you gain when you trust the timing of life is peace. You must surrender your attachment to doing things the way others think they should be done. And that includes the hours that you keep, the way you look, the way you work, the timeline for your life. You need to honor your need for rest and replenishment, your need for play and experimentation, your need for downtime. Sometimes an afternoon nap, a day at the beach, a period of internal work is going to do way more for you than trying to push yourself to keep working when you're mentally, emotionally, physically depleted because you're trying to keep up with other people's schedules or impress somebody or stick to some external timeline or do the thing you think you're supposed to do. Work when the energy is flowing and stop when the energy is not. This is also part of how you're going to build that trust, right? The trust yourself card that we started with. This is how you're going to build that internal trust that you know how to grow, is by trusting your own timeline and releasing these unhealthy attachments you have to the structures, the routines, the belief systems of others that prevent you from accessing and honoring your own inner sacred rhythm. It is time to trust the truth of your own timing, to love yourself enough to give yourself rest when you need it and not feel forced, not feel rushed. You need to believe in yourself, take healthy, inspired risks and actions when the timing feels right. So that also means you don't talk yourself out of acting when you feel like, oh, I should jump at that. You trust it. When you feel like, not the right time yet, let me wait. Honor that. Trust your timing. You're not late. You're not early. You cannot miss what is for you. You are right on time. And finally, our shadow for the season is withdraw. Winter, little fox in a den. The time of stillness and death and collecting your resources. This card calls for retreat. So again, I get this inner struggle feeling. The shadow work is, I feel like I have to rush. I can't rest. I can't do the inner work. I can't do the downtime. I can't do the new birth guarded vigilantly period of inner work. I'm trying to do everything faster, see results sooner. You're resisting the time where you go inward and you nurture this new growth first, the time where you grieve what you're letting go. This card says you must retreat. We have this culture that values productivity, acting, pushing forward. Spirit says you got to relax, go within yourself, find stillness, do the inner work first, gather your strength for what's to come. Frequently, we find the solutions that we need when we actually step away from everything that we're doing and we just allow ourselves to unfold. You need to get comfortable alone. You need to get comfortable backing yourself. Before you can grow a big tree, you have to grow deep roots. You're in a hurry to be this big tree that everyone can see and everyone can climb and everyone can pick fruit from. But you want to skip the part where you have to go internal and grow those deep roots. You're in such a hurry. You're like, why hasn't it sprouted yet? Why hasn't it sprouted yet? Why hasn't it sprouted yet? Because you are growing down before you can grow up. It's winter. It's a time for deep work, inner work. You need to do that now so that by spring, by astrological new year, that's when you're going to be bursting forward. I'm ready to launch. I'm ready to show everyone. I feel strong. I feel ready for everyone to see it. I've been doing all this inner work. I feel ready now. But between now and then, you've got big inner work to do. It might all be internal. It might look like nothing's happening on the surface, and that's okay. Don't be in a rush. And that's the shadow work of the season because you're fighting that with yourself. Take the winter off. Go lay down. That's your reading. I love it. Please let me know if this was resonant for you in the comments. If you're watching on Instagram, leave a comment. If you're listening on the podcast, you can DM me on Instagram at Intuitive Edge Coaching. You can email me intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com. Please join me for the Mush Week retreat, December 28th, 29th, 30th. It is a cozy, chill, look inward time for our business. We're going to look at everything that happened last year. We're going to do some visioning and some planning for next year, all in our jammies with our cozy beverages. It is delightful. It is only $77. The link will be in the show notes. If you're watching on Instagram, the link is in my bio. If you know you need support for next year, you can still join Powerhouse Mastermind for next year before the price doubles. I have 2 spots left for one-on-one coaching for next year before the price doubles. This would be the time. So if either of those things are of interest to you, you know that next year you're going to be ready for some big new, and you need a community of people who can actually support you in the big new. DM me or email me intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com, and let's get you set up with those things as well. All right. That's what I've got for you today. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your day, so many things you could be listening to, and it means so much that you are here in this community. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share it on social media, and tag me at Intuitive Edge Coaching. Share it with a biz bestie who you think needs to hear it and will appreciate it. And take a moment to to subscribe, and to leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It helps me grow this show, and it helps us grow and sustain this brilliant community of entrepreneurs dedicated to doing the inner work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, love you. Bye.